What's good, y'all? If you tapped in, you already know who I am. If not, my name is Caleb Jarrell. Life is about how you respond. Understand that no one is exempt from circumstances, no one is exempt from problems. But it's about how you adapt and how you respond to the things that life throws at you. It's about how you adapt and how you respond to the circumstances that you was dealt as a kid, the circumstances that you go through as an adult. We all have problems. We all gonna have bad days. But you have to focus on changing your perspective. Focus on being a better individual. Focus on the things that are going right. I come from an environment where I grew up in a lot of complaining. I grew up in a lot of negative talk. So once I left that environment, everything felt new. You feel me? Sometimes that safety don't feel safe in the beginning. What do I mean by that? Sometimes you're so used to the normal. Sometimes you're so used to what people made the normal in your life that when you pull yourself out of that situation or those circumstances and you make a new normal, it becomes unfamiliar and it feels like chaos. It feels like toxic. It feels like it's toxic or toxicity. But a lot of times that's just you regulating and you becoming better. You finding that new version of yourself. You finding that new mindset, that those new habits. So you have to lean into that and adapt. Understand that the way things may look when you grew up may be completely different from when you're grown, when you're an adult. But it's up to you to decide on the choices and decisions and the people that you keep around you. But what you have to do is learn how to respond and learn how to adapt in life because it's not going to be perfect all the time. There's seasons in life. It's a season to cry, a season to mourn, a season to laugh, a season to relax. There's a season for people to be in your life. There's a season for you to be isolated. There's a season where certain people are going to be in your life or you're going to be in their life. And there's a season where y'all may not be around each other as much. So we have to stop holding on so tight to these things, understanding that seasons change, people change, circumstances change. So, you keep yourself around valuable people, keep yourself around valuable situations and circumstances, but never be afraid to adapt. Never be afraid to grow. Never be afraid to detach because nothing's gonna always be the same. Nothing's gonna stay the same. So you have to understand that adapting is a process, and sometimes it's a hard process to go through, and we resist that. So we have to stop doing that and just allow things to flow. Start being like water and adapting to our environment. Right? For example, just like football. Boom. At halftime, the team may be up 2 touchdowns. They may have just scored. But guess what? What's the coach doing when you go in the locker room? What's your position coach telling you? All right, bet. You know what? In the beginning of the game, we said we was gonna do this, and we see a whole different thing. You feel me? They looking at the film. They looking at what's going on during the game. So now they're making adjustments. Now we have to adapt to what we've been thrown at. We have to adapt to what's been thrown at us. Right? So we may start out doing this one thing on defense. And maybe we were expecting them to kill us with the pass game, but right now in this moment, in this season, in this circumstance, they're killing us with the run game. So guess what? We got to put a little bit more people in the box. We might have to go man on the corners or on the secondary. And boom. Now that you've made that adjustment and they came back expecting the same thing to continue, now it's like you have a different perspective. You have a different opportunity. You give yourself more room. because you made that adjustment, because you adapted to that circumstance, because you recognize, okay, what I'm going through and what I'm dealing with right now is not working. The people that I'm allowing myself right now to deal with, the players that I got in the game, the people that I got in my world and my program, right now they're being a detriment. And sometimes you got to check yourself because you can be the detriment. Why? Because you got bad habits, because you got a negative mindset. A lot of times we got the right attributes. You feel me? You can have the right attributes. You get up, you do the things that you're supposed to do. You got a good character. You about morals and principles. You got standards. But sometimes we lack the execution. Sometimes we lack the positive mindset. Y'all ever had a teammate or, somebody that you was around, they had all the right things, but they didn't have the right mindset or they didn't have the discipline because they were fooled with certain people that wasn't good for them to be around. People that pulled them back, put themselves in environments that held them back. And guess what? Now you look up years down the line, they in the same position doing the same things, but they had all the potential. Don't be that person. Pull yourself away from whatever it is or whoever it is that you have to, and adapt. But it's about how you choose to respond. One it's different when you don't know. But when you wake up and you understand and you start to see things for what it is, and you get the awareness and the knowledge and you understand, now you're making a choice and you're making a decision to not lean into it or to not switch things up. And it tells you or that tells somebody else who you are as a person. You feel me? That's like giving somebody a boundary and making it be well known and making them aware of something that you're not cool with. So now that you give them this boundary and you see that they're intentionally crossing it, now it shows you that they don't respect your boundaries. They don't respect who you are as a person. So guess what? You adapt. Either you decide, you know what, I'm going to allow them to still do this certain thing, to treat me this way, to be this type of person in my life. Or you say, you know what, I don't have to put up with this. I don't have to deal with this. I've worked too much on myself to allow somebody to not treat me with a certain level of respect. I give too much respect to not receive it. So no matter what circumstance that you're going through, no matter what cards you were dealt, it's up to you to respond. It's up to you to adapt. But you can't be too afraid to adapt. Because if you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, sometimes it don't work like that. Sometimes you have to sit back, reflect, assess what's going on, read your defense. What's the defense? The people in your life, the mindset that you have, the perspectives that you've grown up with, the outlook on life that you've had, the opportunities. Sometimes you got to read those in your life, the habits, the lack of discipline, the lack of motivation. Sometimes you got to sit back, reflect, and look at your life like it's panning across the screen and right in front of you, and look at every area, every category, and ask yourself, okay, is this working in my life or is it not? If it's not, throw it out. And then when you find something that's working, you get around people that's, they have the right things, they have the right attributes, they have things that are of value. You know what? Boom, they're giving me this wisdom. Let me add this to this category in my life. So you're taking out negatives and you putting in positives. And now, since you put in positives, it's up to you to apply it. It's up to you to adapt. It's up to you to respond a certain way. But what we mess up is we get these categories of mindset, of discipline, of motivation, of environment. of circles. We have all this right in front of us, and you see it's on red. Red meaning that is not positive in our life. Red meaning that is a detriment. And we just let it sit on red. And we go throughout life thinking, oh, I keep these reds in my life, it's gonna get better. I'm gonna have a different outcome. I'm gonna be better in life. I'm gonna I'm gonna improve as a man. And it don't work like that. But guess what? When it's on red, what do? When your phone is on red, you get that notification saying low power mode, phone on 20%. Guess what? You adapt. You put the charger in, you plug the phone up. Right? To get the outcome that you want, to be able to last longer. So you have to endure in life. But you can't endure when you leaving everything on red. You leaving every category on red. You got to charge them categories up. Dang, my discipline on red right now. Bet, let me make sure I go to sleep at a good time. Let me make sure I got my day planned out so I can know what I need to do and when I need to do it. Your relationships on red. Are they pouring into me the same thing that I'm pouring into them? And vice versa. Are they just taking from me and not giving? Are they helping me in the things that I want to do in life and vice versa? Are they helping me with goals? Are they helping me with trying to be a better man? Are they helping me grow as an individual? Are they being loyal? And you have to ask yourself these same questions for them and for yourself. So it don't just work one way. But you gotta stop believing these categories on red. You gotta stop believing your mentality on negative spaces and negative people and expecting things to change. Sometimes you have to figure out what the source is, figure out what the issue is, and then adapt and respond. Respond with a better answer. Respond with a different play. Respond with a different mindset. That's the end of the video. Like, comment, subscribe. On the way to 1,000 subs.